Carpe the heck out of that DM, I say. Carpe it. Carpe, are you carpeing? Carpe harder. It's Dixon Dividing on Talk 99.5, talk995.com. 75 for a high today with sunny skies. It's going to be nice. It is Tuesday, the 7th of April of 2026. And we are boogieing right on through this year as we barrel toward midterms, right? That's happening in November. We've still got war going on in Iran. We have got missing persons. We have got an economy that continues to stumble and get back up again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's just a ton of stuff going on.
Yeah, there is.
It's what we call a target-rich environment
it's
in the talk
very,
radio.
And today is very
universe.
rich.
Yeah.
Probably a little more rich than maybe we would like.
Too rich for my blood, really. Is
Very
what it comes.
rich.
I fold.
You do?
I'm not. Yes, I'm done. I'm
That's
not
it?
playing.
Wait a
I've
minute,
decided.
we're just like 2 minutes into the show.
I know.
Don't give up yet.
Really?
Yeah.
When should I give up?
Come on, 10:01
10:01.
would be good.
10:01 is when I...
Not before then, sir.
All right, fine. Be that way.
Need you right here, Richard.
Hey, Express Oil Change is donating $1 to Children's of Alabama for every oil change they perform during the month of April. I love these guys. I know that I can pull in and I can get an oil change in about 10 minutes. It's going to be fast. It's going to be professional. Last time I was there, I had a cat that I was like, this dude is going places. I know he is, man. He was straightforward. He was honest with me every step of the way. He said, look, you got a couple more maybe changes, oil changes before we need a new air filter here. But I'd say your tires are probably, you get about 5,000 miles. You probably ought to go ahead and get some new ones there. And I'm like, man, this guy's right on the money. I know all this stuff already. I wouldn't drive in there if I didn't have a pretty good idea of what I was dealing with. He checked all the levels, made sure everything was up to speed, made sure that my oil was at the right mark, uses the right stuff. It's fast, it is inexpensive, and it's exactly what you're looking for. They have raised over $1.2 million to date, helping Alabama's children receive the care that they deserve. They're not just changing oil, they are changing lives at Express Oil Change. You know, with all the locations they have in the great state of Alabama, it is safe to say there's one near you. Stop by and help yourself do an oil change and help Children's of Alabama along the way. Okay? Wow, Donald Trump, I love the way he just speaks in the vernacular, you know?
Yeah, just lets it rip nowadays.
Not really big on the sugarcoating. He's like, you have until 8, and then I'm blowing everything up. I'm blowing it all up. Everything's going to go boom. It's not going to be pretty. You're not going to like it. Nobody's going to like it. And Iran is like, okay, here's what we want you to do. Children, form a human chain around the power plants.
And I'm like,
and the kids are like, why would I do that?
No.
Why would I do that? So I can get blown up with it? No, I don't think so.
Hopefully the word's gotten out and no one's going to be doing that. But that's just terrific.
Unless it's done at gunpoint, chances are good it's not going to be done at all. There are those who say, well, you're blowing up civilian infrastructure. I don't know if you know this or not, but the military also uses that infrastructure.
They sure do. And that's part of the issue right now. When you can't get them to come to the table and say, no, we won't make any nuclear weapons, and yes, we'll agree to that. But they're not doing that. They're really not making any concessions whatsoever.
No.
It doesn't look good.
And even though Trump says that this new regime is a little bit more pliable and friendlier than some of the previous regimes they've dealt with, clearly not as friendly and pliable as he would like them to be. Because they're still not coming to that table. They're still not measuring up with what. And after you have pounded and pounded and pounded these guys to the point where they have almost no ability to make war. Oh, but we took down a plane. Yeah, lucky shot. Congratulations. With all the sorties that have been flown over there, by the way, 13,000, all right, 13,000. Think about that for a second. 13,000 sorties have been flown by our pilots. You got one plane. That was almost inevitable, wasn't it? When you have that many planes in the sky?
Yeah, you're gonna something like that's gonna happen
sooner or later.
Around it.
Yeah, you're gonna take somebody down.
I mean, it would be a miracle to go through that and that many targets that were 13,000 hit.
Yeah.
And there was no, loss of life, no injuries, no planes taken down, no targets hit. Are you kidding me? So that's what a war is about.
We did have one plane taken down. Had a couple of Black Hawks that had to move over, and a Warthog that got taken down as well. But those guys got rescued pretty quickly. So all of that is in the rearview mirror now, and it's become we're at the end game. This is we're at the point where it's like, okay, guys, either you're going to get serious about this, or we're going to blow the snot out of your country.
Yeah, because we've got, there has to be an end here. You can't just go, well, we're halfway done.
Right.
Let's bring our guys home. We're done with this. Everything will be okay. You know what, Iran? Go ahead and have the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah.
You can't.
No.
As long as they are hell-bent on having nuclear weapons and enriched uranium and all of the things that they want to do in order to harm Israel, to harm Americans and other countries, we've got to stay in the fight to the end, and it's probably going to take longer. And it may take what Donald Trump is threatening to do tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It might take that.
Yeah.
Because, again, at least we know they're not coming to the table. What if they came to the table and they said, yes, we agreed to all these things, and then we bow out, and then they continue to make enriched uranium and they do the nuclear thing? You either agree to this and you don't do it and you knock it off, or we're going to take care of business to the nth degree and blow up everything so there's no chance of you, at least for the next 20, 25 years, of doing anything like that.
Hate the idea of troops on the ground.
I do too.
But if that is what is called for to unseat those who seem to be having difficulty understanding that this is just unacceptable, then that is what is going to have to be done. And, look, we didn't pick this fight. we didn't want this fight. We wanted Iran to peacefully coexist with its neighbors. We wanted Iran to continue on a path maybe of freedom for their citizens, but they, chose to go the other way back in 1979. And consequently, what with the whole continuous search for nuclear weaponry, which the only thing they want to do is blow Israel off the map. This is how, we talk about Trump derangement syndrome. They have Israel derangement syndrome over there. I mean,
and American deranged syndrome.
The Jews are responsible for everything. And I sometimes wonder, and I don't mistake me or misunderstand what it is I'm trying to say. I'm creating a fantasy world here. If all the Jews were magically transported off the planet Earth to another place, what would they do? How would they handle? Because they
right, then they'd have nothing to go. They'd have to pick something else to go after. It seems like that's what they are hell bent on.
They still live in hellholes.
Right.
Their lives are still miserable. Mm-hmm. Everything about that, nothing would change if all the Jews were somehow magically transported somewhere else. Nothing in their lives would change at all, except they wouldn't have the Jews to hate anymore, and they'd have to come up. They'd have to come up with something else, because this is really what it comes down to. Is they're just so completely fixated on that, which is astounding. And you look at it and say, guys, why don't you take some of this money and use it instead of to foment terrorism in other places? Use it to, enrich your citizens, create a better country, create a better world for yourselves. Nope.
I don't think they want any of that. They want to hold down their people. I mean, they're still hanging people. They hang the 19-year-old Olympian. I'm like, they do it to women every day. They'll whip them. They hang them. They, treat them like dogs. It's like that. They like that. They want to continue with that. And that's what this regime is all about.
Yeah.
I don't know that you change that mindset.
No, not without changing the regime, which is, something that we said at the outset. We're not really interested in regime change. If the citizens of Iran are able to rise up, which, the minute you take 2 steps out your door, you get shot, so not so much. But, yeah, if the citizens are able to rise up and throw off the shackles that they are wearing right now, then that would be great. But we're not going to take responsibility for that. We're really concerned. Again, this is an America First operation. We want to make sure that they never have a nuclear weapon that they can use either on our soil or on Israeli soil or really anywhere else in the world where they could do some real damage. And Donald Trump yesterday called out all of these countries that refused to help us.
Yeah, I was glad to see him do that.
Ran down a list. He's let's talk about NATO. Let's talk about Australia. Japan didn't help us. South Korea. We got troops in South Korea protecting them from North Korea. They didn't lift a finger for us. None of this. And they're all like, this isn't our fight. It's everybody's fight.
It sure is. It's the world's fight. Because if you have peace and Iran doesn't have that nuclear capability, then everyone lives in peace. So it's not our war. And Europe, I hope that you're listening, Europe, because you're right there. You're right on top of this.
Yeah, you're much closer than we are.
To act like you're not a part of this war, well, I hate to tell you, you need to be thanking the U.S. that we've done what we've done so far, and no thanks to you for no help. And I was glad to see Donald Trump calling them out one by one. That's exactly what needed to happen.
Yeah, and I'm sure every one of them was just thrilled to hear their name coming out of his mouth.
Yep.
Like,
well, France surrendered long ago, so
that's
it doesn't matter.
So
surrendered
true.
in the middle of the speech. ProLift Garage Doors, 286-9727. ProLift Garage Doors can come out, fix that garage door. What ails you? If you have a problem with it, they can give you a new one. Well, they're not going to give it to you. They're going to sell it to you at a great low price, actually. You will really appreciate a company that is so knowledgeable, so timely, and so professional that, for instance, in my case, they came out, they got it done in less than an hour, fixed a very, very broken garage door and got everything rewired the way it needed to be. It was perfect. It was the perfect experience, and the price was right. You'll love ProLift Garage Doors. 286-9727. And if your garage door is letting you down, then it's time to get an uplifting experience from ProLift, ProLiftDoors.com. .620 Talk 99.5, Talk995.com. Dixon Dividing getting you going here first thing in the AM on a Tuesday. Yeah, man. You know what? Why don't we just go ahead and dive right into this? I say let's do it. Let's do it.
And now it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
A longtime sports anchor who was a regular presence in Alabama sports for decades has been arrested and charged with using his position on a local board for personal gain. It is Mike Rada, formerly of ABC 3340, and before that he was with WBRC Channel 6. 67-year-old former broadcaster was arrested and released same day, posted $25,000 bond. Talladega County Sheriff Jimmy Kilgore said Rada's arrest was part of an indictment by a grand jury. Some $236,000 was misspent. Originally, it was blamed on the bookkeeper. You remember this? And
Yep.
And now there seems to be some blame being spread around to others. Mike Rada being one of them. His successor, Adam Stocks, also got kicked in the teeth pretty hard by this. And some claims about, wait a minute, they spent $25,000 refurbishing a 1968 convertible and a Camaro, and then sold it to him for $15,000. What? How does that work exactly? Rada's wife bought a 1998 Ford F-150 for $1,000 from the commission.
Something's up with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get it. It's a 98, but
Yeah.
surely there's more value than $1,000.
One would think. One would
so
think.
that seems a little bit odd.
Don't know exactly what's going on there, but the entire board was removed in November of 2025, including Rada's successor, and KIV named a new board of 18 members, and the investigation continues into where did this money go, what exactly happened there. I'm somewhat fascinated by this. It feels a little bit like a bunch of guys in golf shirts who, good old boys, hanging out together, and they all kind of stuck their hand into the slush fund, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that happened or not, and I'm not going to claim that it did. It just, there's a funny feeling about all of this.
All I know is I wouldn't mind having a 68 convertible Camaro pace car
Mm-hmm.
Who wouldn't?
for
$15,000, yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, I'd take that deal in
Well,
a heartbeat.
you should have
But,
gone to work for the
maybe
International
not the way
Motorsports
that-
Hall of Fame.
Maybe not the way that he bought it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's weird because that was originally assigned to his successor, Adam Stocks. They said he did that. Now they're saying Rada did that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what.
It sounds like
gives
there's a
here.
bunch of hands that were dipping into the $236,000.
Could very well be.
Yeah.
And you're like, nobody's watching anyway. Don't worry about this. Or,
Yeah.
you know,
Somebody is.
they might be completely on the up and up, and it was one guy who was just playing fast and loose and then trying to throw everyone else under the bus.
We'll soon find
I
out.
don't know.
Yeah.
House is voting today on sex ed reform, banning contraceptive demonstrations and sexually explicit images. Bill was on the calendar floor, a vote last Thursday. However, leadership motioned to adjourn before completing the day's full docket of bills, promising to bring all unaddressed legislation back to the floor, today, for instance. Senate Bill 209, sponsored by State Senator Shay Shelnut and carried by State Representative Susan DuBose in the House, which transforms the state's sexual education teaching in K through 12 schools. The legislation will undoubtedly draw significant backlash from House Democrats who have bucked similar efforts by DuBose in years past. What do you think about, I don't know if it's sexually explicit, but this argument's going on since I was in school.
Sex ed?
Yeah, about just what you should be teaching these kids. And I remember one argument that was made particularly by one of these televangelists who said, you know, the problem is you teach these kids about this stuff, and sure enough, they're going to want to do it. And I'm thinking, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but natural urges kind of mean even if you don't teach the kids about this stuff, they're going to want to do it.
Yes.
And maybe knowing about contraceptives and knowing how to stop bad things from happening like disease or unwanted pregnancy would be a better idea.
Yeah. And the curriculum, it says K through 12.
Yeah.
Maybe we narrow that window a little bit
Yeah.
to the older side.
Oh, I was going to go younger, but okay, sure.
I'm like, what's
yeah.
up with that?
Yeah.
I
It
mean-
seems to me I had a health class in 9th grade and 11th grade. Those are the two grades where we had the sex ed in health class, and that seems about the right ages
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah. And the thing is, what is the curriculum? What exactly are we teaching? Because some of those conversations need to be between parents and kids,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then there are other things that maybe could be addressed at school. But, I don't know what sex ed classes look like now versus, say, when we were in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that involve?
I can say that there was one word that was never mentioned in my sex ed class. That probably should have been the word mentioned more often than any other. And it should still be the one used more than any other in these sex ed classes. Abstinence.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
You want to be 100% certain that you don't have unwanted pregnancy or disease? Abstinence. Mm-hmm. Save it for a later day, Yeah,
well, it's easy to say that, and it's a whole other thing to get kids to adhere to that.
Well, this curriculum would prohibit the use of sexually explicit images, demonstrating the use of contraceptives, providing referrals or information on how to procure contraceptives or abortions, and the use of services or education from any individual or organization that does not endorse sexual risk avoidance or that advocates for or performs abortions. Let's keep that information from our kids.
Knowledge is power.
Yes.
And again, this is going to be something eventually. To have the knowledge would be probably a good thing. But again,
not in kindergarten.
No. Oh, gosh, no. Age appropriate and whatever that might be.
We might need to be talking a little more along the lines of, 9th grade, 11th grade, something like that. Let's not lose our minds on the age thing. But also, I have yet to run across an idea so dangerous it can't be discussed. That is insane to me that you want to keep all of these things out of schools. Kids do have to have some information. Or they could pick it up on the street like I did.
Oh, no. Or on the school bus. Like I've heard that happen before. Oh, no, that information would be wrong.
Artemis 2 astronauts made an historic moon flyby yesterday. And kind of interesting, they found that the back of the moon, we call it the back of the moon. It's really
the moon.
It's the side that really gets more sun, if you think about it. It's because it's between us and the sun, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not really the dark side of the moon. It's probably the brightest side of the moon, but except at night, of course. But when they flew by, they said, "There's a lot of brown. What's with the brown and the green?"
Green hues.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's really wild. Wait a minute. What's the green?
Mm-hmm. Is there some sort of vegetation growing
green?
down
Really?
there? Probably not.
Yeah.
What they're suggesting is that was kind of a penumbra from the sun and the corona that came around it. But look, we haven't been on that side of the moon yet.
Are we sure it's not Marvin the Martian?
Could be.
Might be. That's one of the things we got to do.
Makes me very angry.
Yeah,
angry indeed.
Absolutely fabulous yesterday. If you got a chance to see just a little of it, and knowing that they for 40 minutes could not have any contact because you're on the back side of the moon, so it was silent for like 40 minutes. It's like, ooh, here we go. No contact with Earth.
It's all fake, Valerie.
It's all fake.
Let's stop kidding ourselves. Every bit of this is being done on a Hollywood soundstage. Steven Spielberg's directing the whole thing.
Yeah.
I love the fact that there are people out there who are now claiming, well, now I know the first moon landing was fake because there's no way we made it up there with a little bit of technology that we had. And it's like, no, we did. That's what made it such a miraculous thing.
That's what was so cool about it.
That we managed to go. If you ever go and look at the space capsule, I don't know that's the real one. I think it's a mock-up that they have in Huntsville. And you look at some of that 1969 technology that they were using, holy cow.
How'd you do that?
You got more power in your cell phone, man.
It's pretty amazing.
Denson and Fuller, my insurance agent, should be yours. They're really local, independent on Crescent Avenue in Homewood, 414-1476. Great people who are going to take very good care of you. All you need to do is give them a call and tell them what it is you need insured, and they'll come back at you with an estimate for what your monthly premiums are going to be. 414-1476, online at densonandfuller.com. Check them out. All right. Coming up, I have a bad, strange habit that I wanted to discuss.
A habit?
Yeah, I wonder if anybody else does this. I figure I'll just opine.
Throw it out there and see what people think.
We'll see what's on. I don't know. I suspect Steve does it for some reason. I don't know why.
You and Steve with the same habit.
Me and Steve.
Well, that's kind of scary.
Maybe not. 6:35, Dixon Dividing. Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Tuesday morning, 7th of April, 2026. Thanks for hanging out with us. Man, oh man, lots going on today. Possibly deadline there over in Iran. We'll keep an eye on that for you. Is that 8 o'clock our time, 8 o'clock Eastern time?
I think Eastern time,
okay.
Yes.
All right.
9 o'clock Central, something. I mean, it's 9 o'clock. Now I've got my times mixed up.
You are
about
confused.
that.
Yeah.
I think it's 8 Central, 9 Eastern. I may have that wrong. But anyways, it's about 13 hours from now.
Okay.
13, maybe a little less than that.
You'll know when the first bomb drops. You'll know what
That's
time
right.
it is. That's all you need to know.
Well, you and I will probably be asleep.
Chances are good. I slept through the NCAA championship game last night.
Yeah, I only saw maybe the first 5 minutes of it.
Saw the tip and then out like a light, baby. Let me see. Weather. This weather is fantastic, is it not?
Yeah, yesterday was a little more. There were a few more clouds around, but I think today will be more sunny.
Yeah.
We'll see some of that, but man, does it feel great outside.
75, 73, 75. This is the next 3 days, today, tomorrow.
So nice. Yeah,
fantastic.
This whole week.
What a good time to get out on a boat from Rodney's Marine.
I would like that.
Yourself on Lake Logan Martin on one of those Suzuki-powered Silverwave or Starcraft pontoons or Tritoons. Get out there on one of those beautiful boats. Rodney's got it going on with the in-house financing, the low monthly payments, the valet service. I don't know if they're full on that yet or not, but you should definitely try to get in on it if you can. They've got boat storage out there. He's got a crew that is top-notch. And then, of course, if you need repairs on your existing boat, these are the only guys that I would trust with mine. I can tell you that.
Yeah, think about, too, Rodney also has some beautiful pontoon boats that you can rent. If you got a special occasion coming up and you're like, I would like before I pull the trigger on a huge, beautiful new boat and engine, the Suzuki engines, I would really like to maybe just go take a tool on the lake in one of the boats. Well, he rents boats. So if you call, make a reservation at 525-1500, find out what's available. Even this weekend would be absolutely beautiful to be out on Lake Logan Martin. So go give him a call and see what's available. Take yourself a spin around the lake, and, man, once you do that, you'll be like, this I love. Just some beautiful boats. They ride across the water smoothly. The Suzuki engines are quiet and fuel efficient, very reliable. And then when you purchase your boat, then you always know that you've got Rodney and the guys there to help you in any way that they can. If you need accessories put on your boat, you want to up-power that Suzuki engine, you can do that. Maybe you bought a fairly, one of the smaller boats, and you're like, you know what? I'd like to get more people on this boat. Well, then you can buy even a bigger boat.
Upgrade, baby.
Yeah, upgrade. Rodney's Marine.
Upgrade. Rodney'sMarine.com, online at 231 in Cropwell, next to Lake Logan Martin, of course, or call them at 525-1500. Shout out to Kevin over at Comfort Works. He got my AC working yesterday. It was a capacitor.
Capacitor?
Yes,
oh,
a capacitor. Boy. He was just outside, listening to the unit, and he said, "Oh, you hear that?" I'm like, "No, I did not. I heard nothing." He goes, "It just tried to click on, but it couldn't because the capacitor's bad." I'm like, well, "You can tell that just by listening." Okay, very
that's
impressive.
That's a pretty good air guy there.
So yeah, he had kind of a one-size-fits-all, very expensive capacitor. He said, "I'm going to put this on today so that you can have cool air tonight." I'm like, "I don't really need it because it's 70 degrees right now, but whatever." And then he said, "Tomorrow I'll come back with the right one and put it on because you don't want to have to pay for this. This one's really expensive." So thoughtful. And then when he changed it out, he blew the low circuit fuse underneath the house. So he had to crawl into the house and swap that out, unfortunately. But no, good guy, knows his stuff. Comfort Works, loved him. Thank you very much. I'm paying full price. He's not giving me a deal for mentioning him. I just want to, get the shout out in. When somebody is that good at their job, they deserve a little kudo, But while I was waiting for him, I realized something, and this is something that I have done unconsciously now for years, and I wonder who else does this. I'm betting women don't do this. I'm betting men do this.
It's a guy. It's a dude thing.
Probably a dude thing.
Okay.
So I don't know when he's going to show up, so I turn on the TV, and I'm watching YouTube TV, just like regulation TV. What same as cable, whatever. And what I do is I scroll through, because there aren't any numbers on YouTube TV. You basically have to go through the guide, find what you want, and then you select it, right? And then I do this. I go back to the guide, I scroll through, and I find the other thing that I want to watch. And I select that. And then when either one of them goes to commercial break, I bounce back and forth between these two things.
Oh, my goodness.
Last night I was watching both the Blues Brothers and the Green Mile.
Oh, that is so funny.
And I thought, this isn't normal, is it? Do other people do this? Am I the only person who... I'm so ADD, I can't even sit and watch one movie.
Yeah, I could not do what you just described.
Oh, my gosh. Steve,
I did it when I had cable.
Yeah.
Going with streaming services makes it a little bit more difficult.
Right. No, if you had YouTube TV. And I found that to be true as well. When I got rid of cable, I didn't do that anymore.
Right.
In fact, I watched a lot less TV, and YouTube TV is ruining me. But I got it because I wanted football season, and now I'm regretting every minute of it. But... yes, am I the only person really? If anybody else does this, text me. A lot of times because what I watch tends to be on what we call the upper channels.
Right.
And the commercial breaks on the upper channels tend to be a little longer. So they'll take a movie that is 2 hours and it will be 3 hours.
That's irritating.
Because they
in
will
the case of Green Mile, 2.5 hours and it becomes 4.
Exactly.
Ew.
Yes. And I can't remember what channel either of these two are. I think the Blues Brothers are on like BBC America, which is weird. But so because of those extra long breaks, and because I will lose my attention span in the midst of one of those in a heartbeat. So I will then click the back button, boom, go to the other one.
Other show.
If they both have commercial breaks at the same time, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
But sometimes I can pause one long enough. And then, it kind of sets it off again.
It's like you're playing a game.
It is.
I could not do that.
Not only do I do this, I do this literally every time I ever watch what we would consider to be regular cable TV.
So you don't just sit down and watch something.
I don't sit down and watch one thing.
Wow.
If I do, it's on a streaming service. Like if I turn on a documentary on Netflix, I watch the documentary on Netflix. I don't go anywhere else. Because there's no commercials anyway. But if I'm watching it on YouTube TV, I am a bouncer. I will bounce back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Max says he does it too. He's on the text line.
So I'm not alone.
And Joe,
no, you're not.
Joe says I do the same thing.
I mean,
this is yeah. I would. Are there any women out there that do this? Because I'm like, no,
no.
I'm laser focused on whatever it is.
Many women do now.
No.
Seinfeld has that great bit. It's a great line about how guys are constantly clicking, and women will pick one show and sit there. He says that's because men are hunters and women are gatherers. It's true. It's exactly right.
We're just made up differently.
But the thing that really strikes me about it is that it's not by accident that I do it. This is premeditated. When I sit down, I'm going like, what 2 things am I going to watch?
2, right. When you get to the point where you're watching 3 things at one time, then we're going to get you some medicine.
Well, I can't because there's only one back button. You got to go back and forth and back and forth.
Hey, don't give them any ideas.
Yeah.
They get Richard hooked.
I did have a TV that had it allowed you to go back through 5 different channels, and it was just confusing and difficult to operate. I'm sure that's probably why they took it off the market. Never mind, this was a bad idea. I don't know why we thought this.
Will says this is the only way I watch TV.
Yeah.
Angry Trucker, he says he does the same thing.
And not just with movies. I do it with all shows. Drives my wife and kids crazy.
Yeah, James says my wife does that. Drives me crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
Found one.
That's funny.
All right, so we found a female. I know you know
Does she have
UTV.
ADHD?
You get free DVR, so just set your DVR and then go back and watch the shows and just into speed through the commercials. Yes, you can do that, and I have done that, as a matter of fact. I have recorded stuff, and the thing about YouTube, which is weird, it's unlimited. You have unlimited DVR space.
Yeah.
So you can record everything that's on there all the time if you want to, and then go back and watch it. And I have done that, but for the most part, like yesterday, I'm kind of like, what's going on right now? Oh, okay, Fox News, I got to go there because I got to see what's going on with Iran. I want to make sure I'm on top of that. And then I'll go watch, Family Guy is over here on FX. I'll flip back and forth between those two. I never watch one show at a time, ever.
That's crazy. I can't imagine doing that.
And yesterday was the first time it dawned on me, this is kind of weird.
Yeah, the one thing, like sometimes I'll be working on stuff for the next day, the computer and the TV's off to the right, and I'll just glance over to kind of stay on top of things. But even that is distracting. I'm like, I've got to focus on this because it's for work.
Yeah.
But yet I also need to, I don't want to miss something Trump
Right.
says or whatever is going on. And I invariably have to turn the TV off because it's distracting me from what I'm doing.
Right.
So I have to laser focus on one thing.
Yeah, I'm not one of those background TV people.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of
I'm
just
like,
having the
why am
TV
I
on
doing
all the
this?
time running.
Yeah,
I don't do that. That's if the TV is on, I'm sitting down in front of it and watching it. And by the way, just so you don't think that I'm like a couch potato who watches television for 27 hours a day, it's maybe 90 minutes. If I get 90 minutes of TV, and this is why I can't even watch a whole movie.
Yeah.
I did not make it all the way through the Green Mile yesterday. I didn't make it all
That's
the
a
way
long
through the Blues
movie.
Brothers.
It is
Yeah.
a long movie.
It is.
I mean, I can't. There's just not enough time. There's not enough hours in the day. But guess what? It is recorded. I can
And
go
you
back
can
and
go
finish
back.
watching it today if I want to.
Yeah.
Although
Floyd, by the way, suggested that you get a split screen TV
Yeah.
option. That way, when you see one go to commercial, you don't have to actually flip. You can just
You
change
just
from
change
picture
it
to
one
picture.
side
That's
to
true.
side.
That's true.
Funny.
That's not a bad idea. Andrea from Lakeview says, yes, is there any other way to watch?
Oh, that's great.
But to be fair,
yeah.
in December of 2025, Andrea texted us, Spinal Tap, one of the best movies ever. Andrea's a dude, okay?
Might be. Right now she's screaming at us, no, I'm not.
I'm
no,
not
I'm
a
not.
dude. You have dude sensibilities.
You have
Yeah.
you have similar sensibilities.
Let's see, Richard, are you on a mission from God? No, although I do love that. My wife says she'll bounce between 3 or 4 shows.
Oh, my heavens.
at a
Oh,
time.
no. That's. Oh.
I couldn't. I
I would
two
lose
is-
my mind. I would
two
like
is my
pick.
max.
Could you pick something, please?
Mhm. Sometimes it'll take me 6 months or a year to watch a whole movie on DVR, says Tommy. Good Lord. David does the same thing. I only watch one thing at a time, and I know what I'm going to watch before I turn the TV on, says Thomas. Okay, good for
Thomas and I could hang out
Yeah.
together. I'm with you, Thomas.
you. Put 2 TVs next to each other, and you
No.
can watch 4 movies,
no,
Richard.
no. Again, no.
Why not?
That's just oof.
Okay. It's nice to know I'm not alone. Maybe
You're
we
not.
can, we
You're
can,
not alone, and it's not just a dude thing.
not
That's
sure
what
if we
found
can
out.
form a club or a self-help group, but it's one of those two things for sure. 647 with Dixon and Vining. Stick around. I believe Ted Nugent is 77 years old.
Yeah, I can believe it.
77. Still rocking.
Yep.
651, Talk 99.5, Talk995.com. All right, we got the fluoride out of the water. How about we get the chlorine and the nastiness and the other chemicals and the hardness out of the water? We do that with an Aqua Systems whole home system. Probably the most shocking thing to me about the Aqua Systems whole home system when I got one was how much cleaner I felt right off the bat. How much more soap foams up. It suds is great. How you can use half as much, literally, laundry detergent, half as much dishwashing detergent, and get the same results. And when the dishes come out of the dishwasher, they are sparkling clean, frighteningly clean, absolutely gorgeous. And that is all as a result of having soft water and having pure water. By having an under-the-sink reverse osmosis system as well, I'm getting the cleanest, purest ice. It is clear ice. It is fantastic. When it melts, it's just pure water. And then, of course, you make coffee with that. You make tea with that. Everything you cook with it is better. It's just that simple. You are going to improve your life in so many ways with an Aqua Systems whole home system. They start at $0 down and $60 a month, or 12 months, same as cash. You can go find out more right there at iwantgreatwater.com, iwantgreatwater.com. But getting a free, no-obligation demonstration from a non-commissioned salesperson is really a great way to go. 383-3999, 383-3999, iwantgreatwater.com for Aqua Systems. Starbucks baristas could earn up to $1,200 a year in bonuses under a new program.
Ah, nice.
Coffee Giant will offer up to $300 per quarter to U.S. baristas and shift supervisors at stores that hit certain sales, operational, and customer service metrics. The company said in a memo to employees. Starbucks did not provide details on the specific metrics, but said the program will begin in July with the first payouts coming this fall. I imagine it's different for each one, depending on where the Starbucks is.
Mm-hmm. How busy it is.
Yeah, and are you in an area where there's another Starbucks right across the street from you, which makes it a little difficult? You know, you're splitting business at that point. But $300 is not, it's not a king's ransom.
Well, you know, and you think it's a barista. I mean, $300 a quarter? That'd be incentive to add a little to your paycheck. I mean, you're not making huge money.
No, clearly
as
not.
A barista.
It would not hurt to.
I mean, think about what that would be to like somebody that works at McDonald's behind the counter. Mm-hmm. And we're not that far off from that.
But the people at McDonald's, they get my name right on my order.
Do they?
So yeah,
always.
Starbucks is
really
not so
Sometimes
much.
They're not.
That's my problem.
You can make up any name you like, you know that.
I do. I do
it. Have fun with
on
it.
a regular basis.
Yeah.
I am not really a Starbucks fan. I don't drink coffee.
Yeah,
so that's not
coffee's part of the problem there, Richard.
No question. But occasionally I'll have somebody who wants to meet me at a Starbucks or whatever.
Well, they've got other things there too.
Yeah, so I'll get
different kinds of
I'll get a
drinks.
cup of tea.
Yeah, you could.
I'll get myself a cup of tea, which is really just hot water in a tea bag. They don't even, it's like do-it-yourself tea.
Right. Are you here for coffee or are you here for tea?
IKEA.
If
They're
you're
like,
here for tea, here's what you get.
Here's a kit.
Right.
Make your own tea. Then you go over to the little, I don't know, the Fixins bar, whatever you call it. Where
you got a little bit of everything.
Yes.
The sugar, the sweetener, the stirs, the napkins.
I use the pink stuff.
The pink stuff.
I like the pink stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
It's probably giving me cancer. I don't
Probably.
care. I'm fine.
Have
I like
some more.
it. I prefer it to sugar. I prefer it to honey. I prefer it to anything else. And I like lots of it. I'll put like 6 packets in.
What?
I'm kidding.
Oh, jeez.
Five at most.
Oh, my God. You'd be better off with regular sugar.
You know, the real problem with the make it yourself tea is that it takes a long time. You sit there and the water's hot and it's supposed to be flowing through the tea bag and it's supposed to be creating the tea. Depending on the tea bag, sometimes it never gets beyond a light brown and you're dipping the thing and working it.
Yeah, you're not through yet.
Get your stir and you try to squeeze as much out of there as possible. I've got a defective tea bag here. Oh, and by the way, waiters hate it in restaurants when you order hot tea.
Yeah.
Hate it.
Yeah, because there's there's a little more to it.
Yeah, it's
not like bringing you over a cup of coffee.
No, unless they're a place that really does a lot of tea, which is one of those, and you'll run across that. But if you're in a place where they are not tea fanatics, but they do have it on the menu. You can see the waiter's face just die a little bit when you go, can I have a cup of hot tea?
Yeah, you know what that's almost like? The woman in the checkout at the grocery store that wants to use a check.
Yeah.
That you're the check guy.
Third-party
to that
out-of-state
waiter.
check.
Yeah, they're like, what?
But
you want a cup of tea?
I prefer that. Yeah, they
What do you
go
think
back
this
to
is,
the
a
kitchen. They got to find
Chinese
some
restaurant?
hot water.
Hot tea. I need hot
And they
tea.
have to get the one tea bag, and then
Way
they
to go,
get a
Richard.
little slice of lemon. They put it on the side, and they bring the whole
Too many
thing out
things
to
involved.
you. Sometimes they got the little silver teapot that they put the water in, like there's extra water. Never enough for 2 cups of tea in there, by
They
the
do
way.
that on purpose.
Yes, they give you enough for 1 1/4 cups of tea.
If you need more, go turn the hot water on in the bathroom and fill her
I
up.
don't think so. But
Richard, yes, I need another hot cup of tea.
I kind of prefer that because some tea bags are so good you can get 2 cups of tea out of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, I kind of prefer that to the guy who shows up with the big wooden box. Have you ever seen this? He's got this gigantic
now you're
flat wooden box.
You're at a fancy restaurant now.
Opens the thing up. There's 4,000 selections of tea
which
in
one
there.
would you like? I'll leave this here because it's going to take you about an hour.
No, it's not. I want the tea. Well, we have chamomile tea. We have ginger tea. We have the green tea.
They're going to
I
make
just
you pick.
want tea.
They're going to make you pick.
It's Earl Grey.
I'm sorry,
standard.
sir. We don't
Yeah.
have Earl Grey.
You don't.
You'll have to pick something else.
You know, I kid you not. I was in a city once where that was the case. Every single place I went into, places that actually advertised having tea, did not have tea.
Earl Grey may not be as great as you think it is.
You guys.
Come on,
you
they've
need
got.
to
You're gonna have to pick something else, sir.
up your tea selection here. I've
Yeah.
got to have my tea. I think afternoon tea. That was something that the Americans should have kept going from Great Britain.
You think so?
At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you stop what you're doing.
No, I don't think they had it right.
Why?
I think Mexicans have it right.
The
You
siesta.
Yes. Forget the tea. Siesta.
Why don't we do both of those?
Well, you'd be wasting a lot of your afternoon.
No. First you
Between
can
the
have the
tea and the
siesta,
nap.
then you wake up, and then you have the tea. gets you
I
going.
like the siesta a little better than the tea.
All right, Jim.
Yeah.
You sleep through the tea
Because
period,
if
and
you-
I'll have the tea.
Well, you'd have to drink the tea after the siesta because otherwise it would keep you up.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You'd
thinking.
never be
right.
able to
No.
take a siesta.
Exactly. No, do the siesta,
Siesta and then get up and have some tea.
then get up and do the
So
tea.
what time is it now when we're done?
About
4
6:30.
o'clock. Okay. It's time to go to bed.
That's all right. You're done. The day's over. We are fixing America one
man.
step at a time here. We're watching two
You know
TV
what?
programs at the same time.
You and I are getting a little closer to where we could
Yes.
just take a siesta and have some
Pretty
tea.
much.
We're getting close.
7
What
o'clock.
time is dinner? Oh, that's 4:30. Then there's bed. We've got our whole afternoon planned out for us. Is there a little shuffleboard between
up.
that? And
In the next hour, I swear, we're going to talk about current events.
we didn't even get to talk about the baristas.
Probably.
Because we were talking about tea.
What was that bumper song, says Grant? That was
What
a free for all,
bumper
Ted
song?
Nugent, wasn't
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Free for all.